You know, on Forza Horizon 5, the list of cars is starting to be quite colossal. We're approaching 900 cars, and out of these 900 cars, there are about 15 models that have unique features. Features that are a bit special that I propose to show you today in a video. You can consider this video as the third in the series of videos about secrets and details you don't know about the game, even after 3 years. And by the way, some of the things I'm going to show you today in the video come from the comment section of my first 2 episodes. By the way, if you know of any other cars with unique features, don't hesitate to put their name in the comments and mention their feature. I hope you'll enjoy this video. If so, please show your support by liking and subscribing. Stay tuned for a potential 4th episode in the series. We're going to start with an American model, the Jeep Willys, which many of you play, especially because it's very customizable and because it's monstrous in the drift zones. It scores a lot of points. This car has a unique feature, visible at the bottom right of the screen. Next to the meter, there's a small logo indicating that you can press the button to fold down the top. That's not what will happen with this car. We won't do like in Gran Turismo 7, where we suddenly have a soft top. I'll show you what it does. It's quite entertaining and likely the only vehicle that allows this. There you go. You can simply fold down the windshield and drive with our Jeep having absolutely nothing in front of us. And of course, it's compatible with first-person view. I will then show you 2 cars that, in the game, have animations, let's say, quite detailed. While it won't impact gameplay, adding detail to the cars that lack it is a nice touch and improves the overall game aesthetics. The first one is going to be the Zenvo TSR-S. It's a car we got from Forza Horizon 4. This car has an incredible spoiler system, and the developers completely redid this spoiler system. It's simply a spoiler that will turn in real time. The direction you take depends on the angle you put in your steering wheel or controller. The spoiler will turn more or less to support the car in the curve, and it will also, when you brake for example, orient as much as possible forward. The air brake was meticulously modeled on this car. When you exceed 155 miles h, it activates. The spoiler will no longer turn as much in the corners. It will really focus on pinning the car to the ground, and it's quite stylish. So I'll show you a big braking with the spoiler there. Like that, we see it well. And as soon as we go back under 250, we recover the rotating spoiler. I'm not sure what to name this, but I'll demonstrate a small feature that's not limited to one model, but available on around 20. In the game, it's the 4-wheel steering, the front wheels, which turn, that's normal, except that there are some models on which you will also realize that the rear wheels turn slightly. So, it's going to depend on the speed. The goal is to ensure the best possible steering angle for you. It's available on about 20 cars in the game. Just know that on these cars, if you upgrade the suspension, it will completely remove this feature. For example, this is the original Maserati Gran Turismo Forza edition, and it features 4-wheel steering. If I upgrade and change the suspensions, it won't have that anymore. It's available on about 20 cars. I'll list them in the montage. So I'm adding a little fun one for the road. It's with the Auto Union Type 500, this one. You brought it up in the comments of my last video since I mentioned you in episode 2. The Toyota National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, which has a funny little thing about its headlights, is that the Toyota National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, it doesn't have headlights. These are stickers that represent the headlights, and yet, at night, as if by magic, these stickers light up. I'm going to show you a fun feature on the Auto Union Type 500, an old race car. This car, when you look at it in the garage, it doesn't have headlights, it has nothing. Really, it's ultra smooth at the front. Except that if you go into the open world and then you go driving either at night, or for example, in a tunnel. We'll do this because it's currently broad daylight, but if you return to the open world, it's different. Well, there are headlights that appear a little bit by magic, and especially what's quite funny is that these headlights are functional. If you go somewhere dark, like driving at night or entering a tunnel, that's what it means. These headlights will illuminate the road when turned on. I'll demonstrate that now, and it should be apparent. Afterward, I wanted to show you a bit more. The Ford Mach-E, a vehicle I hate in the game, still has 2 somewhat unique features. The first is that on this vehicle, when driving in a tunnel or at night, it's not only the headlights and rear lights that illuminate. The small Mustang logo is present on the grille at the front and on the trunk at the back. Now, there's a second thing that is quite exclusive to this car, so it may not be the only one, but in any case, this one really struck me. It's the fact that this car has 2 driving modes. You can use it basically in 4-wheel drive mode. So there, you will have, I believe, 1,300 horses available. Something like that, that's it, 1,400 horses. And you also have the possibility when you press the left joystick of your controller while at a stop. The possibility to switch this car into rear-wheel drive for more drifting. However, know that when you switch to rear-wheel drive, only the 2 rear engines are working, instead of having all 4. As a result, horsepower decreases from 1,400 to 800s. So there you go, a little thing to know. This car has 2 propulsion modes, one better for drifting, the other for normal grip. In drift mode, the car loses 600 horsepower, but becomes a beast in normal grip. So, now, I have a lot of things to show you, but things that will rather be visible in the garage. Because indeed, in the game, there is what is called AutoVista. AutoVista is a menu that appeared on Forza, I believe, around Forza Motorsport 4. Through this menu, you can thoroughly examine the car by opening all its doors and hoods and zooming in on various components. The game features cars with precisely these hidden options and small storage spaces. Things, let's say, a little secondary, which are not very useful, but on which the developers really worked to have a detailed result. For example, on this Ford Deluxe Forza Edition car, we have a little fun thing. I must warn you, this car is extremely rare and nearly impossible to obtain. Now, that's a bit of the problem, is that this car, to get it, you had to pre-order Forza Horizon 5, and especially, to get this car, you had to buy the official Forza Horizon 5 controller. It's a limited edition controller. We got a code to obtain it, which is no longer available. Some are reselling the controller with the code for 300 people have gone crazy. But know that this car has a bit of fun in AutoVista. You can open the trunk, which is not important, except that once the trunk is open, you can simply use it as a seat and get in. It's completely useless, but it's there, available, and modeled. The Ford DeBerti F250 is found at DeBerti, not Ford. This one is the same. It has a little feature, a bit exclusive. So, nothing crazy, and especially nothing, unfortunately. You can use it in the open world, but we still have an exclusive animation. As for the rear of the vehicle, since you see, we don't really have a trunk to open or deploy. It's not the back of the bed that's going to open, but it's indeed going to be the 2 sides of the vehicle that will open. On the side, we have access to storage, and I also believe we have access from one side to the gas tank. And I believe the second tank, it must be a water tank, simply for campers. If you know what these tanks are, let me know in the comments. I couldn't find the information I was looking for on Google. I also wanted to show you a little special custom. And it's the same. I believe it's unique to the game, unless I'm mistaken. We're going to go to HSV for that. We're going to get the 2014 Maloo. It's a vehicle I rarely use now, but I used it more in Horizon 3 since it was an Australian vehicle. It still has something unique in its custom. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. We have the Mega Bumper, the Bull Bar, which is quite ugly, must say, but which is quite fun. So, after, you will do what you want with it. If you do cops and robbers roleplay, why not? So, I then showed you one of the things I prefer. In Forza Horizon 5, the Cadillac Limousine is a car that is not used often, but still has something quite cool about it in terms of animation. So, the back, obviously, already, it is quite unique in the game, because we don't have 50 limousines. And they really did a lot of things. The small champagne cups and speakers are ready. Can I change seats? Sure, that's stylish. And so we have on the sides all the buttons, a whole bunch of things to interact with the car. So we even have stuff here, I think, our mini fridge and all that. There's a small bonus feature in the game. It's that when you're going to drive with this car at night or simply turn on the headlights in AutoVista, the interior will slightly change. Since indeed, when the headlights are on, well, you have the interior of the vehicle that will be backlit with neon lights. I find it super stylish. I'll show you another one that I found on Reddit, which is quite nice, even if, well, it's the same, it's not very useful. We're going to go for that on the 100 Chevrolet. 100 Orvet 100-8. So I believe it works for all 100 Orvet 108s. On this car, changing the vehicle's paint will change everything. It's a fun little feature. It's monoblock, except that it's not going to change the color of the grills at the front, so you have the grill there. In reality, they don't see much because it's black. The grill isn't full. There are small shapes inside. However, if you ever apply a vinyl to this car there, on the front face, for example, any form of vinyl, we don't care. The grill color can be changed there, and it's, to my knowledge, to the knowledge of Reddit, the only range of cars on which we can do that. We can repaint the grills with stickers. Is this a bug or a features test for the next Forza Horizon game? I don't know, in any case, know it. So same, always at the level of details on the AutoVista, but a little thing quite stylish anyway. It's something that was added in an update. Besides, it wasn't present in the base game. It's on the Pagani Zonda 5 Roadster. In fact, you will be able to. So here it is. You have to leave here. You will be able to open the back, and since an update, you can open the small trunk that is here. The small box, which in fact, in my opinion, is the only trunk of the car since it's a car with a huge engine. And since it's not really designed for vacations, this is the only trunk available. The storage on the sides couldn't be opened before, but now it can be, thanks to the bonus added by the devs. The Mercedes-AMG 1, the game's flagship car, has a stylish aero car design. There are two driving modes. You see at the bottom right of the screen, there is the road and the track, which you can switch by pressing the left joystick button on your controller. In track mode, your maximum speed will be reduced. You will have the arrow deployed all the time to have maximum support. In turns, grip firmly. However, the speed limit is 350s. If I brake and switch to road mode tack, we'll have issues. The spoiler that will normally retract. If everything goes well, then the elimination sometimes takes a little bit of time. There we go, it's starting. We have the spoiler retracting. And now, this time. So indeed, we are going to lose a little bit in support. That is to say that the car will be less glued to the ground, in turns, and will potentially be less efficient. On the other hand, we are going to have more VMAX. I'm going to show that. We might even be able to shift up one more gear. You see, we are already at 350 without forcing, so there is a big difference. With these two driving modes there, so it's the same. There are a few cars in the game that have the ability to be convertible while driving, or switch to spider mode, like for example the Ferrari Portofino, which has a complete animation which is quite stylish. So, I'll show you that. With the roof that will lift up, the trunk that will open, and then the roof that will retract into the car. And then, of course, you can drive in full spider mode, and that's stylish, isn't it? Here is the complete little animation. You have the same kind of animation available on the 720 SE Spider. I'll show you that. If the game wants to, it's the same. So there, a totally different animation. And it's perhaps moreover. The 720 SE Spider was added because we already have the standard 720S in the game, which is faster. Do you remember what I was talking about? With the Ford Mustang Mach-E, well, you can do the same on the Ioniq 5N. Except that, unlike the Ford Mustang Mach-E, this car keeps the same power. Whether you're in drift or AW mode, then drift mode, it's the same. Activate it with the joystick and it'll put you in propulsion instead of four-wheel drive. There you go. Good to know. It's also possible on the Rimac Nevra. So there, it's the same. Are you going to switch between drift mode and track mode? So there, it's still two different things. Because in track mode, you have active aero with the wing, and in drift mode, you switch to propulsion and you no longer have any aero. And to finish, you have. And the same thing as on the MG1 available on the Gordon Murray T50, where you will have the choice between the LV aero support. I'm unsure why they named it that instead of track or road like Mercedes, but it's the same thing. You can switch when you are stopped and go into VMAX boost mode to comfortably exceed 400 kilometers per hour. So there you have it. I think we've covered everything. I'm going to show you one last little thing. So this is good. It's just arrived in the game. Birdie's new Ford, the C10 layer, is actually a nice hot dog. I must say, it's not great. It's slow, inefficient, and not even impressive for drifting. But there is still a fun thing about it. It has, as you've seen, 6 wheels, 2 in the front, 4 in the back. And there's a little bug in the game. It's when you rewind and your rewind ends on a part where you were drifting. So it's quite hard to do it because you really need to have good timing. Normally, you're going to have 2 of the 4 rear wheels that will lock up, and you're going to go into pure propulsion. I don't know if it will show up in the gameplay, because it's really something that you feel more, something that will be noticeable in the video. But the vehicle really changes handling. I believe it's a bug, not an intentional feature from the developers. While not visually apparent, it significantly impacts the vehicle's handling. So, you can test it on your side, you can test them on your side. Night drifts much better when 2 of the 4 rear wheels are neutralized. As always, if you liked the video, please show your support. For example, by following me on Twitch for upcoming streams, using your Prime to support the channel, and using my instant gaming link. Find links under this video to buy games cheaper. Your support helps the channel. Thanks for watching, see you soon, bye.